want to wrap things up with a bet potentially in the MVC tournament. First round, number 7 Murray State against number 10 Evansville, 7 p.m. Eastern time tip-off. Believe this one going to be on ESPN Plus. The winner would face Bradley in the quarterfinals. With totals in general in this tournament, Justin and I were talking about this before the podcast, and the numbers show it pretty clearly. Over the last 10 seasons, a total of 131.5 or higher in the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, where it's been for God knows how long. 39-21 to the under, a 65% hit rate over the last 10 seasons. This isn't a basketball arena. It's a hockey arena. It's built for that. The shooting backdrops are pretty crazy. And also, you're just talking about a different venue than your typical basketball gym. If you don't want to get crazy and say, well, every neutral court venue isn't necessarily built for basketball. I mean, look at neutral court games at the Garden or whatever. It's different than when you're talking about a true hockey arena per se. KenPom projects Murray State as a 6-point favorite in this game. Total of 132. First game between these two teams earlier in the season went under. Second one went over. Both teams ranked bottom 115 across Division I in adjusted tempo. You also have 2 top 5 defenses, according to adjusted defensive efficiency per KenPom and Torvik in the conference, playing one another in the conference this season, in the Valley, that is. Murray State, top 4 in rebounding rate in league play, 3rd highest offensive rebounding rate. So if the shooting percentage isn't there, but you're generating second chance shots, also kind of plays to the under, with Ferguson and Ellington being very, very good generating those second chance opportunities on the glass. Slower pace game. The shooting doesn't hold up, and the numbers correlate with the expectation and the projections. If we get around under 132, I think this is a pretty good way to start off your Arch Madness handicapping.
I don't disagree. We're gonna probably project it around, yeah,
130?
yeah, right there. We have 133
Okay.
when you
So right
go
there with
to the
KenPom.
neutral. To the neutral, yeah. At a home site, we would expect probably 136, maybe 137. But yeah, it's tough. This is a tough one, and I think you probably want. I like Murray to go under a little bit more here. Just I don't know, but this is so tough because they have the rim attacking inefficiency, but they also have like the bad defense against the threes. So I just get a little bit worried about Evansville getting like keeping this one close, maybe a few extra points. Expecting Murray State to win, right? I do expect them to win, um, but yeah, I'm not really far out from KenPom here with the 6 point line. 69-63 type game. Sure, I expect this thing to probably be like 67-64. So right there, I like Murray State on the money line, but again, I think these late game antics it's just going to be tough. These 2 possession games, I tend to
With
believe
totals, yeah.
right, and I also think underdogs. I think you want 2 game underdogs. You take those 6 points a lot. I would be like hypothesis lay down right now from in every postseason game that has a spread of 6 plus. I think you're profitable taking the points. I would assume you make money over 52.5% at 6 plus through March from in every postseason game.
Here's the
I'm gonna look back and check. We have the technology,
well,
but we'll see.
with this tournament, it's crazy that you said that. So only 2 of the 42 underdogs since 2014 of 6.5 points or more have won outright, and those dogs are 13-29 ATS. If you're gonna bet a
believe it for
dog,
certain. I believe it for certain ones, and I don't believe it for like the D1 sphere at large. And I also think
yeah,
that past data is about as worthless as possible right now in the larger scope of things because of the way things have shifted and the parity that exists within the conferences now that we've never seen before. Like you want to talk about expecting college basketball in the March Madness tournament to be, a free for all. I think conference tournaments this year, people don't understand how tight these conferences are, how much better the middle of most conferences are, how much better college basketball as a whole is. Like you go, if you're a Ken Pom member and you want to sort of see it, the D1 Universe tool is really interesting. And what you want to do is you just want to look at past years at the bottom. So like the number of teams below 0 last year, like it's just like the number of teams above like 10 and above 15.
Yeah,
It's
there's
just
more parity.
so drastic, and it's just like
Yeah.
the grouping. It's so much smaller. Like I think 353 is at -20 this year, and 31 is at +20. So that's 320 teams within 20. Last year, we had, yeah, it was almost the same, but like there were still the clustering. I think also in terms of the defense wasn't as like tight. Like we can see now, it's like it's a slimmer graph this year. It's literally everyone's on top of one another. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So I like long
Yeah.
shots. Find those long shots. Someone's gonna do the unthinkable. Someone's gonna run 4 days in 4 games. Someone's gonna run 5 games in 5 days in the Sun Belt. It's gonna happen. I don't know if it's this year. I don't know if it's next year. But basketball is getting better. It's just crazy things are going to happen. I can't wait. Take long shots.
Yeah, listen, if you like a long shot in this conference and the antithesis of that trend, to me, I think the parity level in this conference is still pretty stark when you look at the top 4 or top 3 for that matter between Drake, if Drake brings it every game, Drake, Bradley, and UNI versus the bottom. So I think that's why my thought process kind of correlates with that notion holding true again this year. But I get it. If you don't think so and you want to take a dog, take a long shot, I think it's totally warranted. But
crazy thing is they're all the Missouri Valley Conference, Drake, Bradley, Belmont, Illinois State are all essentially on the offensive adjusted efficiency line of about 113. It's just steps up in defense, right? And so I think like if the offenses kind of win out in the neutral and the defenses don't hold, I do think you really do have 5 contenders here, and you want to look into Belmont, Illinois. I don't know. It's
but the one thing I want to say with that is before we get out of here, if you're going with the notion that defenses, well, on a neutral court, wouldn't you be more inclined to say that defenses, if the shot variance or negative variance, that being said, comes to fruition, then you would be more inclined to say the defense will hold?
I suppose my problem is that like this is not a defensive conference. I mean, the best defensive team is Bradley at an effective field goal percentage that ranks 65th, and like Belmont, Illinois State are outside the top 300. This is not exactly the conference of defense in every metric. So I don't know. It's going to be a fascinating one. So we'll see how it goes. Drake probably going to win on the fact that they just force those turnovers, and they're going to win on the shot on the possession. So someone's going to have like the perfect shooting game or not turn it over against them, because they just are almost a more sound basketball team than everyone. So again, that's why I like the long shot, because I think when you have a team like Drake that can command a +110, a -110, you probably are more likely to see something crazy happen at like the +2200 than you are to see the 500 one. And I know that doesn't make any sense, because why would it be priced that way? But like, not more likely, but more likely to get your value out of it.
Yeah,
that's all.
And hedge if you do end up getting that.
Get your value out of it. Same
right.
deal. Same deal. There's more opportunity. Like you don't have as much time for UNI to build up wins for you to get out on. Like you take UNI, you're riding.
You're making the bet to win.
Right. You're taking UNI to win. You're taking Belmont to win. You're really not. You need multiple rounds to be hedging. So I don't know. Welcome. Features are fun though. I think I'm falling more and more in love with features. I think they might be more beatable than spreads and totals.
Definitely an interesting conversation for another day when we look at those two markets.